Dr. Steve.
Hey, boys.
Are you awake, sir?
I am. Now.
Yeah.
So you got Sharon Osbourne. She tightened up her vagina, and she says that surgery was brutal. The worst surgery she's ever had, and I guess she's had a few things done over the years.
Yeah.
How do they do that? How do they tighten up a vagina?
Well, what it's called is vaginoplasty, and there's a bunch of there's a bunch of different versions of it. Like sometimes you can do a vaginoplasty to create a vagina if you're, transgendered, for example.
Ooh, yuck.
Or if you're born with too small a vagina.
No such thing.
Also you can use
what's a big
same kind of techniques
Yeah.
to tighten up a kind of floppy, flappy vagina. So
Right.
it's what they do is they basically what they're trying to do is restore the muscle tone and the look of the vagina, and sometimes they can just do a labioplasty. So if someone's got just floppy meat curtains, they can just go in and kind of slice those down. But now Sam can tell you that this is because
I've never had my vagina worked on.
Well, your vagina was made into a penis. We all know that. Yeah. So that's what he's getting at.
And your asshole needs to be tightened. It's common knowledge.
Oh, Jesus.
Floppy, loose, used anus.
No, he's
It's like a cock highway.
He had surgery in this same area when he had a circumcision, and there's so many nerve endings in this area that when you cut it, it hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I would assume.
And Sam can tell you how bad it hurt. You can just imagine that the amount of tissue that's taken off in a labioplasty is 3 times the amount that's taken off when you do a circumcision. So the pain is going to be intense.
All right. I've known you for a really long time. You're just making up stuff because you don't know how they tighten up a vagina.
No, yeah.
So you're distracting and talking about floppy lips and meat curtains. How do they actually tighten up the vagina? That's the question.
Yeah, fuck, I don't know, dude.
There it is. You know how to shave that shit down, but we're talking about making, things a little smaller.
Yeah, well...
And I can't figure out how they would do that.
Can't they
I've never been party to that, but I have delivered 250 kids, and I have tightened up a couple of vaginas afterward.
How do you tighten them up after?
Well, what happens, in childbirth is people will tear, and sometimes they'll tear all the way into the rectum, and you have to reconstruct the rectum, and you have to reconstruct the vaginal wall. And when you do that, obviously you're
Mr. Gorbachev, reconstruct that wall. Yes.
In the old days when this happened, women would just have to reconstruct their vagina themselves. And when I talk about the old days, I'm talking about, for thousands of years before we had surgery.
Well, how would they reconstruct their own vaginas?
Well, they'd have to just heal. And you would end up with a vagina that had contact with the rectum, and birds have this thing called a cloaca where they shit and piss out of the same orifice, and that would kind of happen to women, who didn't heal properly.
Cloaca,
so,
like a bird.
Sounds like a name in the hood.
Yeah, your cloaca.
So when you would have a 4th degree tear, which is what that's called. The joke in the operating room was, did you make a cloaca? And then you would hang your head in shame and get to fixing the thing. So,
wow.
But anyway, so when you do that, you're taking parts of vaginal tissue and you're closely approximating them and then sewing them together. And so I'm sure the vaginoplasty is the same sort of thing where they would go in and make an incision, take out a section of vagina, and then sew it back up. And when you do that, it'll be much tighter.
Tighten it up. Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, you're right. I've never been party to an actual vaginoplasty, but I've done quite a few of them myself during childbirth. So.
Wow.
All right, there you go. Why don't you deliver children anymore? What happened? You had an incident?
Oh, no. When I graduated from residency, it was like, fuck that. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like doing that?
But let me tell you something. It wasn't wasted time because I was very good, at doing pelvic exams, and I was very good at, the diseases and, conditions that women go through, unlike some people go through residency and never do any female stuff, and then all of a sudden have to start doing it when they get out.
You ever have a dud come out and have to tell the parents?
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, but I tell you what, the last delivery I had was one of those that the last delivery I had was the reason why I don't do deliveries anymore.
Why? What happened?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so scary, dude. How can I tell this without violating it? Well, okay, I don't think there's any way anybody would know who this was or identify it, but the baby wouldn't come out. Let's just say that. And I got him out, and I got, the head out and couldn't get the rest of the body out. It's called shoulder dystocia. And there was no attending physician anywhere around, and
shit.
I had one of these before, so I just put pressure on the kid's head.
Crack his shoulders?
Yeah, well, okay, so anyway.
Wait, what happened? So the head's popping out, but you can't get the shoulders out?
I can't get the rest out, and that's one of the things that you can do is you can break their collarbone to get them to kind of fold the kid up.
Fold that little bastard up.
What an unpleasant entry into the world.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Did you break his collarbone?
Huh? No, so I didn't know how to do that. So, because I'd never had one of these.
Steve cut his head off.
So I put a bunch of pressure on this kid's head, pressure, and I'm like, and then all of a sudden I hear this crack.
Oh, shit.
And the baby comes blooping out, right? So I'm like, oh.
Wait, I got to slow you down. What do you mean you put pressure on the head if the head's already out?
Because the head is out.
Right.
And you're standing in front of the woman, her legs are akimbo, right?
Right.
And so you want to get the top shoulder to come out first.
Right.
So I'm putting pressure down, putting pressure on the neck.
Oh, he's kind of pulling the head out and pushing down so the shoulder can pop out.
He's pushing the head back in to try to get the shoulder.
Down toward the floor.
Down, yeah.
Oh, my God. Okay. All right.
Fuck.
Gotcha. All right.
And I hear this crack, and then the kid comes blooping out, and I'm like, oh my God, please just look this kid over, because I was sure that just something horrendous had happened. And so, and she tore, obviously, so I'm over there, cleaning up the tear, and
like a Keystone Cop in there, aren't you?
The nurses were looking over this baby, and they said, he's fine.
Old shoulders McGillicuddy popping out of there.
If it wasn't the kid that made that noise, it had to be the mom, so I'm checking her out. She's fine. No, it was nothing. It was just a warning from above, don't do this anymore.
Damn.
And, that was the last one I ever did. And that was the last one I was ever going to do anyway.
Right.
But it was like, hell, I'm never doing that again.
It's like the fucking last mission of the Memphis Belle.
What is shoulder dystocia? How do you get? Well, why doesn't your shoulders pop out?
Oh, because the kid is. Sometimes kids are too big to pass through the canal, and like either the mother may not be have a real oval birth canal, or the kid is just too big.
But can't you figure all that shit out before the
get out? But the shoulder. This was a long time ago, dude. We weren't doing ultrasounds on everybody.
But I'm just saying, can't you figure all that? All right, can't you figure all that stuff out nowadays, though? You study the canal, like okay, you could deliver through the vagina.
They're a little better at doing that now, and they might have scheduled this lady for a C-section.
It was kind of potluck back then. You just didn't know until you were.
Oh, we didn't even have epidurals. It was like we did this thing called a pudendal block, which is where you take a big, long 6-inch needle and you shove it in the vagina and numb up this little nerve plexus on either side of the vagina just to make things a little bit easier. It was
pudendal block. It sounds like a great move in football. You call a penalty for a pudendal block. I think Steve was wrong. It had nothing to do with the kid's shoulders. He just thought he was birthing an eel, and he didn't realize that there were shoulders on it. I went to eel school. I don't know what this is.
It was terrifying. That's the thing about OB is, 99% of the time it's a joyous thing, and then the 1% of the time it's just sheer fucking terror.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
You have to look up. Hope you didn't have your mindset on astronaut school.
Got the ass part.
Exactly. I'm sure he'll win a lot of medals.
It's going to be an idiot savant without that savant.
Yeah, hope you like everything in the house broken, because you're a winner if you do.
Let me put you on with Carol in Boston. Carol.
Oh.
Hey, guys. I love you guys. I used to listen to you up here in Boston.
Oh.
What happened?
I know what happened. I'm still upset. It's been, what, how long?
A couple of years.
You're the reason I have Sirius Radio. But anyway, so
Thank you.
I was a labor nurse for 8 years up here in one of the big medical centers, and the stuff he's talking about is the reason why you just, like, you know, working in the ICU is actually easier than that.
Gee.
I've had a couple of bad shoulders. You're just shaking like a leaf. It's awful.
Shoulders. Had a couple of bad shoulders.
Really?
What's my accent? Okay.
Get out, you cocksucker, with your fucking shoulders.
Oh, yeah, and guess what? And then the nurse gets to resuscitate them, you know, that kind of, it's really just really stressful.
So it's the shoulders that kick you out of the business. You just don't want to deal with it anymore.
Yeah, well, they come out blue. I'm sure the doctor can tell you that. Purple.
They needed the money.
I've seen 2 kids born, and yeah, they come out blue, all right. It's deeply disturbing.
They come out blue. And then, you know,
there's nothing beautiful about it. Everyone else can make believe how beautiful childbirth is. It's horrific. Looks like a fucking alien. It's blue. It looks around, and you look at it like, who the fuck are you?
I know. You got to give them a couple minutes.
There's no instant bonding. It takes just a little while to wrap your whole head around what the fuck you just witnessed.
I know.
Your wife just gave birth to a blue alien.
How awful would it be if the kid bonded with the nurse or the doctor or the incubator cleaner? Some weird person.
When the skin starts turning pinkish, then the bonding can start.
You got to figure it's like he's been in a pool for 9 months.
Oh, he's all just wrinkled. And there's nothing beautiful about it.
Towards the end of my career doing that, you know, you could kind of start to tell as the head was starting to crown a little, you could tell, I don't think those shoulders are going to fit. You know, and it's because nobody really knows
the damn shoulders.
Like.
I don't know.
The
umbilical cord's wrapped around the little cocksucker's neck.
Sometimes, a few times, so that's why I can see why he doesn't do that, you know, for a living, because it's too stressful.
All right. Thank you, Carol.
Hey, boys. I love you, boys.
Bye, Carol. Thank you.
Love you.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Let's say hi to Rick in California.
Fuck me harder. Never.
One of the procedures for doing or for getting a kid out that's got a bad shoulder is called Wood's screw maneuver. So
What's that? Screw maneuver. Sounds like what? You got to twist them out.
Yeah, exactly right.
Holy shit.
You get the arm out, and then you kind of spin them around in the vagina to kind of unscrew them out of there.
Unscrew him from the vagina.
Unbelievable.
That vagina's hilarious.
Wood screw maneuver. I love that. Anyway.
That's how she got pregnant in the first place.
That's right.
Yes.
You got that right.
That vagina could take a fucking beating. It's unbelievable. Women laugh at our penises. They know what they can do with their vaginas.
Yeah.
What do you got, Rick?
It's like silly putty.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hello.
My youngest was having a little problem getting out, and I don't know if the doctor ever knows about this, but have you ever seen somebody shove their hand up a woman's asshole?
I can't tell you how many videos I've seen that in.
Yeah. Have I?
Yes.
What's that about, Dr. Steve?
Yeah, they're just putting pressure from below to try to push the kid out.
Wait, but you can't put... doctors are shoving their whole hand up there?
That sounds extreme. I have not seen that particular...
My wife doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe me. She had an epidural. She doesn't believe me. But they ended up breaking her collarbone, too, so...
Yeah.
What, your kid's collarbone?
Yeah, they broke it.
Oh, the wife, she wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Exactly. They had a political disagreement during the birth.
Oh, my God. You're
broke
like...
her collarbone and her nose bone.
You got to be just an irritable fucking person if that's how you start your life.
That's got to be...
They break your collarbone.
That's got to be serial killers.
Yeah, you're in that wonderful place, and that's the first fucking thing they do to you?
Welcome.
And how does that heal, Dr. Steve?
How does which heal?
The collarbone. How long does it take to heal?
They just heal.
No, I understand that it eventually heals, but is it painful for the baby?
Sure. Yeah, of course, you just
for a while.
collarbone. Yeah, it's gonna be painful. But even if an adult breaks their collarbone, a lot of times they won't do anything other than just put them in a sling because the collarbone will just heal. Even if it's two pieces laying on top of each other, it'll eventually heal.
Right there. It doesn't even have to be lined up.
Why?
It just kind of grows into itself. That's fucked up. I think you should set that thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. What do I know? Seems a little fucking odd.
All right.
Put a couple of pieces of collarbone near each other, they'll heal.
Right.
Same thing with women's vaginal tissue.
Yeah. Apparently, if you just snip, and put it together wherever it is, you can make a little fucking micro hole. Yeah,
that was the other joke in the operating room is if you put two pieces of perineum or taint tissue in the same room, they'll eventually grow back together. And they're just made to do that. It's
taint tissue
from an evolutionary standpoint. If you tore and didn't heal properly, you're only going to have one kid.
I want to know who's telling that joke in the OR. Like, what doctor's walking in with perineum? What was it called? Perineum material.
Perineum material. Yeah.
Two perineum walk into a bar. They become one. Oh.
That would be my professor telling those jokes.
Okay.
It's in a way to impart knowledge in a humorous way.
Yes.
So every time he fucking passed a car crash, he'd probably go, God almighty, they raced together like two perineum in a room. That was his analogy for love.
You doctors are a hoot.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
You're a fun lot.
All right, let's say goodbye to Rick in California.
All right,
Bye. Let's go to a guy that delivered a baby, and guess what? He's not a doctor. Eric.
What?
Nice.
In Pittsburgh.
Kidnapper.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi there.
So,
Hi, buddy.
I was a paramedic out in Pittsburgh, and
Yeah. Let her rip.
we had a lady having contractions. We don't quite make it to the hospital. And we had to pull over, and she delivered the kid. It came shooting out.
See, sometimes they just come shooting out, huh?
Well,
Like a water slide.
Yeah.
it was a disaster and a half to begin with because, like Dr. Steve said, the 99% is normal and whatever. But, of course, we get the 1%. So the kid's head pops out. The cord's all wrapped around her neck. She's not breathing. We got to unclamp. We got to clamp that, cut that, deliver the rest of the baby, and then we're ventilating her because she's blue and limp. But
Nice.
in the end, kids are pretty resilient. It worked out.
Did you deliver the placenta?
Negative.
Why not?
Got back. Well, because it didn't come out yet.
That placenta is a wow-wee.
That's
a treat, isn't it?
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. It's like an extra liver or something that comes out.
Meaty thing, yeah.
who needs that?
What'd you call it, Steve? Did you say meaty?
Meaty.
Yeah, it's just meaty.
Yes.
It's disgusting.
It is. It's a big old chunk of bloody meat with
Nice.
like membrains and stuff on it. It looks like something from Alien.
Yeah.
Is it healthy to eat? I've heard that. I have heard that.
And then
it has lots of iron and protein.
yeah, a lot of people fucking cook it up for
That's
whatever
terrible.
reason. Not us.
No.
Get rid of that shit. And then
Fajitas.
the woman's body just goes back to normal
Yeah.
with all this shit that went on.
It is. It's incredible.
It's ridiculous.
The miracle of the bitches.
Oh yeah, let's go with this guy.
Amazing.
Chris in New Hampshire, go ahead.
Bitches.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, my son was a pretty big boy, and my wife was pushing him for over 4 hours, and they wouldn't come out, so they whipped out like this thing that looked like a toilet plunger and sucked it on his head, and they threw him pulled him out with the toilet plunger.
That'll give the
Did he
kid
have
great
a cone head
self-esteem.
afterward?
No, they said that he could have brain damage and all this type of stuff, and he could have a thing, and it's pretty nerve-wracking when you're in there, and they popped him right out. He never really had a cone head or anything.
Well, yeah, it's called a vacuum forceps, and a lot of times it will kind of deform the head just temporarily, but they'll come out and they'll have
Just temporarily.
Do you know how many times he's had to say that to a woman holding a fucking cone-headed
Yes.
monster?
Screaming. Holy shit.
This is just temporarily.
Yeah, no, that'll go right back, we think.
But
Don't you worry.
Looks like the baby in a racer head.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's July 11th.
They do kind of.
Wow.
I think if Sam's in there, he could probably Google vacuum forceps and image, and you'll see some.
Well, that sounds like a real treat
He's
for
already
today.
on it.
Exactly.
It's crazy. Vacuum forceps.
And then, just Google image that and see.
Oh.
Well, it's just illustrations.
Okay.
Oh,
there it is,
See
though.
Oh, that looks
See the black
nice.
and white picture? That's
Ew, look at the vagina.
Wow.
Ew. That thing isn't good when a baby's coming out of it. It just doesn't. The pussy is so hot, and then when a baby's coming out of it, it just doesn't look very
It's
hot
yawning.
at that point. Yeah.
It's basically yawning.
Yes.
Yes.
Yikes.
All right. Why don't we say, I don't know how did we get on all this, but Peter in Jersey, what's up?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Hi.
Oh, we're looking at one of these conehead babies. Jeez. It's the back of the head, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the very top of the head.
Yikes.
But not in the picture we're looking at. It's completely in the back.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Peter.
Hey, guys, Dr. Steve. I'm only 22, and I don't really know much about pregnancy or anything like that, thank God. But I was wondering, when the baby comes out, I understand the umbilical cord connects to, like, the baby's stomach.
Yeah.
How does that drag out? Like, what, does it just drag out of the woman? Doesn't it have to be attached to something?
Oh, my God. You
Yeah,
idiot.
it is.
I don't know.
It's attached to the baby at the belly button, and then it just comes out. And so the baby is out, and then this cord is going from their belly button back into the vagina because it's still attached to the placenta. Because it continues to...
Like, where's the outlet?
I'm sorry?
Where's the outlet? Like, doesn't the cord go up to something in the woman? Yeah.
Yes, it goes into the woman and it attaches to this thing called the placenta, which is where the mother and the baby kind of trade blood.
They share shit.
They share shit.
They share everything through that crap.
And then if you just Google image placenta and you'll see it.
Google it,
And
Sam.
then what happens is
I got my screensaver image.
After the baby is born, they'll often in Western societies cut the cord, and then the uterus will contract and the placenta will deliver after the baby.
Yeah,
Do they still do the husband thing where, like, the guy cuts, or is that, like, old stuff?
Yeah. You can do that if you want to. The only time they won't let you do that is if the cord is wrapped around the baby's neck, because then as soon as the head is delivered and the neck is there and you see the cord wrapped around the baby's neck, you have to clamp it on two parts and then cut between it, and it's just you can injure the kid by doing that.
That's disgusting.
And that's why women are way more amazing than men. I cut the thing. Why didn't she feel that? And then everything goes back inside and figures out what it needs to do and goes back to normal.
But when you cut the cord, it doesn't hurt, does it?
No, it doesn't.
There's no nerve endings in there, I guess.
There's no nerves going to
Imagine
it.
if we had something pop out of our body and someone cut it off.
Oh,
Yeah.
Captain, they put creatures in our bodies.
Unbelievable.
How about that?
And it's no treat. It's not an easy cut.
No, a little gristly.
It's a little rough.
They give you sharper scissors. What do they give those
it's
scissors
rubbery.
like
It's
they give you-
rubbery and cartilagely. I don't know. It's cartilage.
Not
I don't
a real
know.
clean snip. You kind of hack at it.
You really do. It's not an easy one little. You're just fucking working at it.
Yeah.
It's like, this isn't fun. Give me another job. I don't want that
What, they
one.
give you kids safety scissors like kindergarten.
It feels
You
like
wouldn't believe
that.
how many
It feels like
fathers
that.
I've seen just faint in the delivery room.
No
too. It's
shit.
and it's these big, tough bruiser dudes.
Yeah.
And, they'll hand them the scissors to cut the cord, and then you just hear this big crash. These guys are hitting the cord.
One of the greatest moments with the first kid, we had to go to those baby classes, and we're sitting in the room, and all these women are miserable. They're 7 to 8 months pregnant, and they're just fucking not in good moods and all that shit. And the husbands are all there, and it's time to show the film where they show a baby actually being delivered, so you know what to expect when you're in the delivery room. This fucking guy raises his hand and says, "I can't handle this," and walks out of the room.
Good for him.
What do you mean, good for him?
He probably didn't like her too much, and he knocked her up, and he realized, oh, no, this is actually going through.
Yeah, I meant this relationship. I can't handle it.
I remember all the women looking at this guy like, what a loser. And then the other men in the room were also like, what a fucking loser. You got to support your wife through this, and you can't sit through a film of a baby being born.
Maybe he had a sensitive tummy.
Well, how about you do the right thing and just close your fucking eyes and not make it a whole fucking scene for especially your wife.
Or maybe he was a lighting guy. He just didn't like the way the film was done. It was all about the film quality that was poorly directed.
But the thing was, it was set up ahead of time. So, like, he kind of raised his hand and they went, oh, yeah, that's right. You can't handle this. So you can leave now for a few minutes and we'll let you know when this is over.
So for the rest of the time, he was that guy.
He's the guy that can't handle the fucking gross shit. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I imagine, ladies, that you're married to a guy like that.
Maybe he was
horrible.
Maybe he was her gay friend, and he maybe inseminated her but didn't actually fuck her. So the idea of when he saw the vagina on TV,
it just made him.
He was like, "Oh,
icky.
yuck!
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
he had to go outside,
Ew.
grab a hot dog."
Were there a bunch of white knights in there going, oh, dude, you should support your wife.
He should support you more.
People just knew that he was a loser. You're a loser, period.
Jeez.
He's making it about himself as his wife is 8 months pregnant in the room.
Yeah, just grow up.
You just close your fucking eyes and make believe you're watching at that point. Oh, that's wonderful. Let's go to Bill in Georgia. Bill, what's up?
Hey, I was going to ask Dr. Steve. My son was born with no eyelids, and they took him to the Medical College of Georgia down here.
This fucking joke. I love this joke. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know it.
When they circumcised him, they used that skin and made him some eyelids, and they said he'd be okay, just be a little cockeyed.
Stop with the polite chuckle, Dr. Steve.
Oh my God.
One of my professors told me that one.
Yeah, I'm sure you heard that in medical school. What do you get with cockeyed with a perineum? It's an asshole who never sees straight.
We must sound that hacky that the guy thought that he could call in and give us that joke. We must be a bunch of fucking hacks.
Jesus.
I mean, bad jokes are funny.
Well,
by the way, I got a tweet. I think we're morons. The engineer was in the front of the train. LOL. The power was coming from the back pushing, but he could see. Like the guy wasn't sitting behind all the cars.
All right, he's got a seat up front.
Sure.
And all his shit works the stuff that's at the back of the train.
A rear-wheel drive
Something about that didn't sound right.
Me neither.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How would you see if there was an elephant on the road? On the tracks or something.
On the road.
Yeah.
I had a hand up a woman's cooter to deliver a baby once. That's Ronnie.
Right.
Chris, the teacher. He's a regular to the show. What's up, Chris?
Hey, boys. How are you?
All right, buddy.
You guys reminded me, actually, when I cut the umbilical cord, both times it sprayed back in my face. I felt like I shot Marvin in the face.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. There are studies, I don't know if Steve could attest to this, of tracing serial killers' beginnings and entranceways into the earth. After Eileen Warnos, who was a serial killer down in Florida, the chick, she was, I don't know what it is, but maybe Steve could say it. She's a rank breech birth.
Huh.
I think that ass first.
Yes, breech is ass first. That was the first delivery I ever did, was a breech delivery.
Is that what that means?
God, you had a shitty first delivery and a shitty last delivery.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
What'd you say? Someone got this mirror out of here.
Because you're an ass.
The stupid senior resident told me that this woman hadn't even started to dilate yet.
Oh, shit.
And so
you realize she was already
you
on
don't
the
have
call?
to worry about her. She's first delivery. She hasn't, even started to dilate yet. And so after about an hour, I said, well, I better check her. And so, I gloved up and I stuck my finger in her vagina to feel her cervix. And it's like, that's not a cervix, that's an ass. Wow. And she was actually...
Who said that about you?
She was fully dilated and delivering a breech baby. And that's like an OBGYN emergency. So
Did you technically have your finger up the kid's ass?
Oh, man.
Well, not up his ass, but I was feeling it. And because what you do is you go in and you feel the woman's cervix. And the cervix, if you guys seen a cervix, it looks like a little sort of fleshy donut kind of thing. And normally the donut is closed; it doesn't have a hole. And so, as a woman starts to give birth, that donut will open up more and more and more. And when it gets up to 10 centimeters, which is about as far from your knuckle of your first finger to the tip of your first finger, then they're ready to deliver. Oh. Well, this stupid resident had been checking her and thinking that, and he was feeling this kid's butt and thinking that she hadn't started to dilate yet.
The guy is not dilating; he's fucking trying to stick his finger up this little kid's ass. That is a tight cervix you got here, lady. Oh, God damn.
Oh, it was horrendous.
I'd love to talk to that kid today. Fucking stands all the time. Great hiney issues.
Fucking bring Sal in.
That guy's right. There is some association with early childhood trauma. Okay.
No, that's fine.
Early childhood trauma and serial killers, and I'd have to research more about this to see how significant it is.
Can't write on it.
Wow. All right.
But like Jeffrey Dahmer's mother had health problems during pregnancy, and there's some medications that may be associated with.
I bet it's not so much the birth as it is the care afterwards.
Yeah.
Because, like, there's those studies that say, do you know a family that eats dinner together every night has a better chance of their kids doing well? And then you think, it's not the actual sitting and eating dinner.
Right.
It's that the family that would eat dinner together every night also has other things that would, raise a pretty good kid.
Yeah. Well, most of the studies they talk about are looking at if the kid's deprived of oxygen at the time of birth, and if the brain's all fucked up, and if it's little damage that they couldn't tell. That was what they put on for what they thought for Warnos.
Right.
That may have something to do with handedness too, because they found that people who are left-handed tend to have more birth trauma.
Ooh, really? Yeah. All right, Chris, the teacher. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, I think we have time for one more. Oh, let's go to Joey in Philly. Joey.
Sorry, it's Mike in Philly.
Whatever.
Oh, well,
I got
that's
5
close.
Kids. I got the 6th coming. I took my kids, sat them down. I told them exactly about they couldn't stop asking about the umbilical cord. And I talked exactly like Dr. Steve. I said it's kind of like cutting through a rubber macaroni or a rigatoni of the style. I haven't eaten
That's not completely cooked, by the way.
Al dente?
Yes, it's not. It's not completely cooked.
Al dente.
My real question I got to ask.
Sure.
When 4 or 5 of the 5 of my kids were born, they each came out with this black heroin tar stuck to their ass. And I never took it in my life. I was told that's what the first piece of shit looks like.
That's their first shit.
Yeah, it's their first shit.
No one tells anybody.
Baby's first shit.
It's disgusting. There's a name for it. What is it, Dr. Steve?
Disgusting.
Meconium.
Meconium, that's right. It's black and it doesn't come off easy either.
It's a great name for an ice cream stand. Meconium.
I prefer to call it the groom killer.
It's very sticky.
It's very sticky, and the kid hasn't been colonized with the beneficial bacteria that we have.
Oh.
And he hadn't eaten anything. The amniotic fluid is basically his own urine. Mm-hmm. And so the only thing that's in their GI tract is old cast-off cells. So, you can imagine
it's brutal.
How did doctors ever have sex again?
You live in your own fucking urine when you're in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's the fluid. It's just you peeing over and over again, and then you're just swimming in your own urine.
Can you imagine at work if you see a baby shit into its mother's cunt, and then you go home and your wife got the candles lit? You're like, oh, fuck you.
I'm not into this.
Separate the two. One's work, and the other one is not work. So,
I'm sure you're not separating the two when you get to put a finger up there, Dr. Steve.
No, it's completely. Not a sexual thing at all.
So you don't just walk it. You don't give the hot mother a few more fingers. Right. Like, I'm just coming in to check dilation.
Yeah, let me see how dilated you are.
She just has the flu.
It just doesn't. It's not that way at all.
I'm visiting
it is
someone.
for some people, I'm sure, because there are these. The curve switch goes off on some of these guys.
Oh,
There's no question about that.
We're visiting Where you at with home births?
Well, I mean, we did it for, hundreds of thousands of years, and it's the strategy when you're going to do home birth is to have a ton of kids because you may lose a few.
Really?
Yeah, that's like
I mean, It's in modern day, it's if you have a problem during a home birth, you just go to a hospital and you should be okay. There are doulas and there's midwives out there. They do a great job. And like I said, the vast majority of babies that are born have no problem at all. So, so yeah, you can do it. It's a choice that people make. I had mine in the hospital just because I was kind of brought up in that. You deliver babies in the hospital. But
why would you want to give a home birth in your own bed? Like you don't have that shit in the bed?
Well, I mean, why do people want to do anything? It's just they want to do it at home. It's more quote unquote natural, and it's in their environment.
Natural schmatral.
It's not some environment that some engineer created just for the convenience of the doctors and the nurses. That's how they see it.
It probably looks good on paper, but when you're giving birth to a kid at home, it's got to be a complete and utter nightmare.
Yeah.
The screaming's got to be just brutal. That's what I'm saying. They don't have any of those drugs, so they're just naturally delivering it.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do they fucking drop it into a tub? It's like, oh, shut up. Get in the hospital, open your cunt, have the kid, and then you get the doctors here if there's a problem.
Yeah.
And then someone will bring you flowers.
It's very selfish.
Yeah, it seems harsh.
Yeah.
Harsh for the woman.
Yeah. But dangerous for the kid. Your bed's a fucking crime scene.
Right. You got to throw your bed away, probably. You're not getting those stains out.
Imagine a brand new Craftmatic.
Oh, yeah. Now
placenta in it.
They can do it. I mean, like I said, the human species did it outside the hospital for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Didn't they stand in Africa? They would just drop the kid standing?
I thought that was like an Indian thing.
That's one strategy is squatting, yeah. Absolutely.
Which is better, you think?
I think squatting is more natural because, think about it. If you're standing and trying to squat, imagine trying to take a giant shit in your bed.
Imagine it. We do it for 4 hours a day.
In your bed.
Or then,
got gravity
and then
working.
imagine standing up and doing it. It's just going to go better standing up.
Right. Got gravity.
Yeah. Well, gravity and the position of the pelvis.
Yeah.
And lining up the abdominal muscles with the pelvis, the whole thing.
Right. Okay.
Educational radio this morning.
Amazing, Dr.
You're
Steve.
welcome, folks.
I got to get my boys up.
All right.
Time to get them to school.
Absolutely. All right, boys.
Bye,
All right,
Thanks, Dr. Steve. What is it? Weird Medicine on Twitter?
Yeah, Weird Medicine on Twitter, Weird Medicine on XM. Oh, God, what is it?
Whatever it is.
103, Sirius 206, 9 o'clock.
205,
p.m.
106.
Eastern on
I don't know.
Saturdays.
I forget what our channels are.
I have no idea. I literally have no idea what our channels are.
I'm going to go with... no, I think...
105, 206.
Podcast at riotcast.com.
I'm going for.
I'm going to go 105. I'm going to go... Is it 103?
Yeah, but it is 103.
103, 204?
It's 103.
206.
206. 103, 2... Okay.
Oh, see?
I almost know it.
Which
is pretty pathetic.
Isn't it high voltage?
Yeah, it's high voltage. All right, Steve.
All right, boys.
We're going to go to
Thank
break.
you, sir.
Great morning.
Yeah, whatever.
The Opie and Anthony Show on Sirius XM. All right, well, that sucked. To hear the Opie and Anthony Show 5 days a week live on satellite radio, online on your phone or tablet, or even on demand, go to SiriusXM.com. Also, interact with the Opie and Anthony Show on Twitter, at Opie Radio, at Anthony Cumia, and at Jim Norton.